In a world where African leaders are often expected to bow silently to global powers, Ibrahim Traoré just shattered the script. With a steel voice that echoed far beyond the Sahel, he looked directly into the storm and called it out by name: Benjamin Netanyahu. No back-channel diplomacy. No veiled statements. This was raw, direct, and loaded with fire. One more move, he said, and we respond. Not a warning. A promise. The room froze when he said it. Advisors turned pale. Even the most seasoned generals went silent. They knew this wasn't just rhetoric, it was a line being carved into history. For decades, Israel moved in shadows across Africa, influencing, surveilling, extracting. Traoré just turned on the lights. He didn't ask for permission to speak. He grabbed the microphone of international defiance and screamed through the static. His eyes didn't blink. His words didn't shake. This was not a leader begging for respect. This was a lion reclaiming his territory. Netanyahu, a man feared by many in the Middle East, was now being challenged from the heart of West Africa. And not by another suit in Geneva, but by a revolutionary soldier with mud on his boots and fury in his soul. Traoré didn't care about diplomatic backlash. He didn't care about sanctions. He cared about sovereignty, pride, and power. He knew the eyes of the CIA, Mossad, and NATO were on him, and he stared right back. His voice carried the weight of colonized bones, unmarked graves, stolen minerals, and forgotten resistance. It wasn't just his voice. It was the cry of a continent that's been silent too long. And when he said, "We will respond," he wasn't bluffing. His troops are mobilized. Airspace is locked down. Intelligence units are working 24/7. Burkina Faso is not blinking. The warning wasn't made through a press release. It was delivered through encrypted military channels, leaked by insiders who were shocked at its clarity. It reached Tel Aviv like a lightning strike, unexpected, direct, undeniable. Traoré didn't say "let us talk." He said, "Make your move." That's not diplomacy. That's warfare in slow motion. A chessboard where one wrong square triggers fire. The world never expected the youngest African president to speak like this. Not against a nuclear-armed state. But Traoré doesn't play by old world rules. He doesn't kneel. He confronts. His warning was designed to sting, to burn, to haunt. It was the sound of history waking up. Not from peace but from defiance. And now the silence from Netanyahu is louder than any reply. Because when a man like Traoré speaks with that much fire, the world listens even if it pretends not to. High above the red soil of West Africa, a shadow moved silently, unseen by civilians, but not unnoticed by those who watch the skies. Burkina Faso's radar lit up with an anomaly. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't a storm, it was a ghost with wings, an Israeli drone, slicing through African airspace without permission, without warning, and without a single ounce of respect. It hovered near strategic sites, where uranium sleeps beneath the earth like a weapon unborn. That drone wasn't lost. It was hunting. The coordinates were precise. It circled near the Tombeo mines, near supply lines, near locations no outsider should ever know. This wasn't reconnaissance, it was a message. A silent intrusion, daring someone to react. But Traoré's intelligence forces were not sleeping. They caught it, tracked it, locked it, and decoded its silent hum as a declaration: "We are watching you." What they didn't expect was a response this fierce. This wasn't the first time foreign technology violated African skies, but this time, they got caught red-handed. The drone's make and model matched known Israeli surveillance craft, the same ones used in Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria. But this was Burkina Faso, thousands of miles away from Tel Aviv. What was Israel doing here? Who gave them the right to snoop above sovereign soil? These were not questions, they were accusations fired like bullets through diplomatic channels. The silence that followed was louder than denial. No apology. No explanation. Just political static. That drone wasn't just gathering data. It was collecting coordinates, measuring troop strength, watching convoys, spying on movements of arms. And behind its camera an agenda, cold and calculated. Because whoever controls the uranium, controls the power. And Traoré knows this better than anyone. The drone's presence triggered lockdown protocols across the northern corridor. Military bases went into alert. Mobile units shifted positions. The skies became a theater of invisible warfare. This wasn't just espionage, it was a provocation. A spark tossed into dry grass. Traoré ordered his air command to trace the drone's origin, and what they uncovered was chilling. Satellite links tied to offshore networks, all bouncing back to Israeli military contractors. Plausible deniability maybe. But the truth burned through the fog. In one move, Israel had exposed its hand. And in return, Traoré exposed his teeth. Burkina Faso scrambled its anti-drone teams. Signals were jammed. Counter-surveillance was launched. And a new doctrine was declared: any unauthorized craft over Burkinabe airspace would be treated as a hostile threat. No exceptions. No warnings. Just fire. The drone never returned. But its presence remains like a scar in the clouds. A reminder that Africa is no longer passive. Burkina Faso has eyes now. Teeth. And the will to bite. What was once a silent intrusion has now become a turning point. A breach that tore through the illusion of safety. And in its wake, a storm brews, one that no drone, no satellite, no foreign power can outrun.